So I used to be a fan of Steven Crowder back in the day. When I was a teenager and I was conservative, more of a reactionary type, I used to really watch his content and I used to be really into it. But as I got older and as I started to learn more about the world, I started to research. I kind of grew away from Crowder's content. I was still conservative for a while, and I kind of watched more of like Ben Shapiro's kind of stuff. You know, that kind of boilerplate, kind of normal conservative talking points. Not so boring as like Fox News, but more so an alternative to that, just on the internet. And it's Ben Shapiro, and he talked fast and he debated idiot college students. I thought that was cool. I know with Steven Crowder, a lot of stuff has come out about his divorce and a lot of stuff like that. I did watch all that content, although that kind of happened during my mental health slump. I thought that the video of him talking to his wife, a lot of people, and I really do mean a lot of people, said that he was abusive following that video, and I don't think that that's fair to say. I think that you could say that the things he said in that video were abusive. For example, his wife saying, I love you, and then him following that immediate with, I don't love you, is like a weird abuse tactic that I think is very strange. And you could also try to make up some like assumptions about why does he only have one car when he's so fucking rich. You know what I mean? That's some weird questions, but I don't think it points to him being abusive overall. He could be. He very well could be, but I think claiming that off of the one video is a little strange. But you could definitely say that his behavior in that video is abusive, right? You could definitely say that. I don't really care so much about his his marriage falling apart, but what I do care about is dicks and balls. So, Steven Crowder sent photos of his genitals and exchanged drugs in super creepy workplace, ex-staffers say. Earlier this month, after repeated suspensions, the Louder with Crowder decamped from YouTube, where it commanded a mighty audience of 5.8 million subscribers, to Rumble, a less regulated but much smaller alternative. The show's audience has dwindled on Rumble to the point where his last 5 shows have averaged some 288,000 viewers. Wow, a far cry from the millions of Crowder once saw per episode. Yeah, but I think people on Rumble are more willing to pay, like, and donate, maybe. That might be more of a thing that happens. I don't know if Crowder's doing that on Rumble, but that is pretty small. Because I remember Crowder get, like, millions of views on all of his videos. But maybe this is live shows. I don't know. I feel like 288,000 viewers for a live show on a platform as small as Rumble is a pretty good number. I don't know if it's bad. The show's viewership troubles follow years of alleged misconduct behind the scenes. One former Louder with Crowder employee told Mediaite that during his time on the show, he received unsolicited sexually graphic texts that included photos of Crowder's genitalia. And those texts and images were reviewed by Mediaite. In the moment, we dismissed it as a sort of frat boy humor. In hindsight, it's super creepy and felt groomer-ish, the ex-employee said. It always felt like childish behavior in the moment that then felt predatory in hindsight. Like he was always testing people's comfort with levels of that kind of behavior. Because he was the boss, though, and he had no accountability, it just continued to happen. There was no one trusted to complain to. Oh, yeah, I bet HR doesn't exist in Louder with Crowder. I bet they don't have that. Jesus. In addition to receiving unwanted sexual text messages, the former employee alleged that Crowder habitually exposed himself to other male staffers, a claim that was backed up by 2 other sources. In regards to him exposing himself in general, to my knowledge, he only exposed himself to male staffers. It happened all the time. It was a regular occurrence. Wait a minute. Hold on, guys. Hold on. Didn't he say that he had a bisexual phase? Okay, so we're gonna watch a video.
I used to have a bad temper. I'm afraid of it coming back. I'm afraid of Mr. Hyde rearing his ugly bisexual head. That was a short phase. No, I'm afraid of getting angry, afraid of being too emotional, afraid of being obsessive.
Okay. Yeah. So he definitely had a bisexual phase. Okay. I'm not sure if that ever went away, Steven. I'm not sure if that ever went away, Mr. Crowder. Oh, geez. Okay. It happened usually when he was in a really good sort of manic mood. So while we all were disgusted by it and it was never welcomed, it was preferable to him being in a bad mood and how he treated people in that state, the former staffer said. Okay. I think the staffer should have said what that bad mood was rather than just leave it here, but it's possible that Mediaite cut it off here. Because I'd be interested to know what he treated people like in a bad state. Steven never explained it. We never talked about it. It would just happen, and everyone would either throw out a fake uncomfortable laugh or show clear disgust, which Steven interpreted as a reward for what he did. He continued, the more disgusted everyone seemed, the more pleasure he seemed to get from it. It's like he couldn't understand that we weren't in on his joke. Ooh. In response to a request for comment, Louder with Crowder CEO Gerald Morgan Jr. Gerald is his co-host. That was the co-host after... So wait, the co-host is the CEO? That's so weird. Okay, Gerald Morgan Jr. told media, while Louder with Crowder does not provide details on personal private medical matters or personnel issues, it is important to note that many of these claims are missing context, clear misrepresentations, or outright falsehoods. Okay, so something about this, every time a CEO is doing any kind of talk like this, they're just trying to damage control. That's all this is. This is a PR stunt. This is damage control. They will never admit to, yeah, we fucked up. Yeah, our main guy fucked up, unless it's like painfully obvious that he fucked up. Like the only times I think ever that like a company does damage control where they admit to the person in charge fucking up or the main person fucking up is like it's like sexual assault of a woman, that usually happens, right? Or of someone of the opposite sex, or pedophilia. Those are the only two times that I can see like, okay, yeah, we do not condone, or racism or something like that. We do not condone racism. We have put that person down. They're out of their position. Blah blah blah. That kind of thing. This is not that. This is very clearly like, oh, there's missing context. Like, what context could be missing here? He exposed his balls to people, allegedly, right? What's the context? Did he do it? Like, what could be the missing context? I don't know. I don't know what context could be missing there. Is it like, oh, the people asked him to? Like, hey, yo, boss, show me your balls. Like, what would that be? Why would that be the case? There's no context missing here. This is unless they also did it, but I highly doubt it from the way they're talking about it. That's so crazy. Okay, so I have some thoughts about this. I think that Steven Crowder is kind of like the kid that didn't get enough attention in school and then went on to just be unfunny as an adult and kind of has surrounded himself with yes men until he gets exactly what he wants all the time. That's the impression I get from Steven Crowder. And I think that like if you are somebody who watches Steven Crowder, this is the main crux of the video. I think that this kind of stuff, this blatant immaturity, and this sort of weird like, it's almost like this sort of weird like hypocrisy from this guy, a guy who likely talks about sexual degeneracy in a lot of ways, talks about the sanctity of sex before marriage and things like that, typical traditional values, but then to go on and expose himself to his employees without consent, the hypocrisy of that and the childness of it should really be a red flag to you. This isn't like, oh, this is just his personal life, we shouldn't talk about it, it should stay private. It's just like, this is at work. This is something he does to the people that work for him. He pays these people. This isn't okay, and none of this is okay. So I would recommend that you maybe just don't watch Crowder anymore. I wouldn't support some of this. If I watched a liberal who did this to people who work for him, I'd be very upset, and I would stop watching that person. That would feel deeply wrong to me. Why would I support somebody who puts their fucking balls right in front of their employees? That's not funny. That's not cool. That's sexual harassment. And if the balls touch them, that's assault. Anyway, that's my spiel for this video. I don't think you should be watching Steven Crowder, not because just his opinions are awful, but because as more time goes on, he seems to just become a more genuinely awful person. Now, this is all alleged. This could be all false, but the way the CEO talks about it here, some of these things are just missing context, guys. Okay, it's just okay. Really, when he says that he exposed himself in front of the employees, what he really means is that he pulled out his balls for like a second. Okay, it was just like a split second that he put it up. Okay, he didn't like just let it sit there for a while. It's just like a second, just a little bit. Okay, come on, like it's just missing a little context. Okay, it's just a little missing. It's so weird. What a weird thing to say. Oh, geez. Okay. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys all in the next video. If you liked it, hit subscribe. If you don't like Steven Crowder, tell me why. If you do like Steven Crowder, make fun of me. I don't care. Bye.